Good evening. My name is Solis Rose Quarter. Welcome to News 360. We're live from the News Hub at Adesanwe in Accra. We're streaming worldwide on the internet via 3news.com. We're also live on DSTV channel 279. Now to the headlines.
News 360 headlines is brought to you by Deluxipate.
JHS students stabbed to death by unknown assailants in Kumasi. Sunday morning downpour causes flooding in several parts of Accra. Also in the bulletin this evening, we throw a spotlight on the new Obuasi, otherwise referred to as Dentro Obuasi, a year after the suspected murder of Major Maxwell Mahama. In entertainment this evening, rapper Samuel Owusu from Kumasi wins Talented Kids Season 9. And on the international front, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un set for talks with President Donald Trump. Well, details of all these and more coming up in the next 60 minutes. Let's start from the Ashanti region, where the police in Kumasi have begun investigations into the alleged murder of a 16-year-old final-year student of the Tafo Methodist Junior High School. Isaac Dakon was stabbed to death after he was allegedly attacked by 4 armed men on Saturday evening.
It is unclear what may have triggered the attack by the unknown persons. The attackers reportedly subjected Isaac to severe beatings and later stabbed him in the ribs. He was rushed to the Tafo Government Hospital but was later pronounced dead. The body of the deceased has been deposited at the mortuary for preservation and autopsy. Earlier this month, a final-year senior high school student of Osei Senior High School, also in the Tafo Pankroni municipality, was stabbed to death by some unknown persons. The deceased, who was identified as 19-year-old Godfred Arthur, was stabbed in the neck after the armed persons stormed the school around midnight in what many said was a robbery attack. The police, however, arrested 2 persons suspected to have been involved in the crime to assist in investigations.
Now, speaking of investigations, we're trying to reach DSP Juliana Obeng. She is the Ashanti Regional Police Public Relations Officer, and hopefully she'll be joining us in this bulletin or our subsequent bulletins to get exactly what's happening by way of investigations. Let's still stay on crime. And the Greater Accra and Ashanti regions topped in robberies and carjacking between January and May this year. The Director of Operations at the CID headquarters, ACP Joseph Oklu Jamra, who made this known, revealed a marginal increase in major offences over the period compared to the last 3 years.
The presentation was on the crime trend this year. Major offences were robbery, murder, rape, defilement, human and narcotics trafficking. The Greater Accra and Ashanti regions topped in armed, residential, workplace and street robberies. 121 robbery cases were recorded in January, 92 in February, 98 in March, 103 in April, and 70 as at May 21, bringing the total to 484. Ashanti region again topped in highway robberies, followed by Eastern, then Upper West. The Eastern region recorded the highest in rape cases with 16 reports, followed by Greater Accra 13 and 5 in Ashanti. 30 defilement cases were reported in the Greater Accra region, 25 in Eastern, 11 in Western, and 7 each in Ashanti and Bono Ahafo. Ashanti region recorded 29 murder cases, 26 in Eastern region, 21 in Greater Accra, as well as the Western region, and 11 in Bono Ahafo. 19 narcotic cases were reported in Greater Accra, just as Ashanti, 18 in Eastern, 12 in Western, and 4 each in Central and Bono Ahafo regions.
Going forward, as part of our proactive measures to combat crime, intelligence units, which hitherto existed only at the CID headquarters, is now being replicated at the various regional headquarters, with the first one having been established at the Accra regional headquarters. The purpose is to detect and foil crime before they are committed. Again, drug law enforcement units, with the assistance of UNODC, are being established in the northern, Volta, eastern, and Brong Ahafo regions. The offices in Ashanti and western regions have already been established.
ACP Oklu Jamra urged the public to assist the police with information to help deal decisively with crime.
A downpour Sunday morning caused flooding in parts of Accra. The affected areas included Mamprobi, Kaneshi, Dakuman and Dansuman.
The compound of the Mamprobi police station and barracks was flooded, restricting the movement of police personnel and other residents. Some were also trapped in their rooms. The flooding was blamed on a narrow gutter just behind the police station. Residents say flooding at the police station is a perennial problem, and all efforts to get the authorities to widen the gutter have proved futile.
Accra police station.
Look at the police station. It's an eyesore. I'm surprised we call this a police station. They should construct tiles at the place to make it more presentable.
On the Dakuman Junction stretch, the rains took one part of the lane, forcing motorists to use the other part. Kaneshi First Light area was also flooded. Sand has been deposited at the bus stop, forcing drivers to park and pick passengers right at a traffic light.
It's very, very frustrating for us to be standing here, not feeling comfortable as we used to do. There's a water that is stagnant there. The water is stagnant there. You cannot stand in it. You need a safe place to stand.
On Monday, May 21, TV3 carried a story on a delayed drain construction near the Accra Academy School, which was causing flooding in homes. According to residents, the contractor quickly moved in the next day and demolished this long wall that's preventing their homes from getting flooded. The Obechebi Lamte roundabout also experienced flooding, slowing down vehicular movement. The downpour has obviously exposed Accra's poor drainage system. A few months ago, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly started a desilting of major drains and primary drains in the capital in a bid to control flooding.
Let's stay on issues regarding flooding, because meanwhile, Daniel Teteoklu reports residents of Flamingo at Ablekuma Central were not spared by Sunday morning's rains, as most parts of the community were also flooded.
The downpour, which lasted less than an hour, caused flooding. A resident, Emmanuel Nate, who has lived at Flamingo, Ablekuma Central for the past 40 years, lamented the situation keeps getting worse.
They've directed all the link gutters to the main storm drain, to which there's no drain there. You see, so in fact, it's a problem. It's a problem. We don't know what to do. This Blazana has been with residents at Mataheku, precisely where we have the valley. I presume he's supposed to know, because before the election, he came around saying that he has stayed with us all this while in the mud. So he's supposed, if we vote for him, he will see to rectify the situation for us. Now, 2 years down the line, now, you know, this time it's worse.
Another resident, reaching out, blamed the constant flooding in the community on inadequate drains.
All the drains have been connected into this lower part. And if that happens, we happen to be suffering, because we happen to be in the lower side of both Sukura and then Mataheko JT.
Some homes had been engulfed with plastic and other waste materials carried by the rain. The flood was severe in this area, but residents were lucky the flood waters did not enter their rooms. Like other residents, Pa Kumani called for support from the Member of Parliament for Ablekuma Central, Ebenezer Gilbert Ni Nanate, the Assembly and Government.
I want to tell the MP to work on the drains in order for the rainwater to flow through, because every time it rains, the whole place becomes flooded.
The constant flooding in several parts of Accra raises questions about past and present government commitment to address the problem, which has become perennial.
The Ghana Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists says members will from Monday, May 28, withdraw all of their services across the country. Their services include blood banking and transfusion, surveys and surveillance support. The action by members of the association is in protest against salary discrepancies for about 6 years after the introduction of the single spine pay policy. The medical laboratory scientists partially withdrew some of their services on Monday, May 21, but a statement signed by President of the association, Dr. Ignatius Awunbunu, stated it had altered its roadmap following alleged life-threatening intimidation from some medical superintendents and directors. The association alleged some medical superintendents and directors have asked unlicensed personnel to operate laboratories in their absence, which is illegal and exposes patients to serious health risks. According to the association, it deployed workers to work on humanitarian grounds with the hope their issues would promptly be addressed, but that has not been the case. You're still watching News360. Let's do some more stories. A sword-cutting ceremony for the construction of a monument will be held on Tuesday, May 29, to commemorate the first anniversary of the death of Major Maxwell Mahama. But at New Obuasi, otherwise referred to as Dentra Obuasi, residents are hopeful no such memorial will be erected in the town. They expressed fear of being haunted by the unfortunate incident which led to the death of the soldier. Komla Kluche has more in the following report.
An early morning, but the village center of New Obuasi is already buzzing with activity before the locals leave for their farm. For Murphy seizes the opportunity to sell donuts, which she has done for almost 2 decades. 60-year-old retired soldier Isaka Suleiman is up from bed and readies himself for the farm.
Isaka, tell me, you have 3 wives.
And the senior one is the simplest. The one following the simplest is the hairdresser. And the third one is the business.
You are a big man, you are a big man.
We began a journey of 20 miles into his 2-acre farm. Saka narrates where he was on the day Major Mahama was killed.
The whole town was empty. I was left alone with my junior sister in the house. I made my families to leave to Dunkwao. But then...
How did you survive yourself?
Okay, I was always in the room. I don't come out. I come out once in a while.
But did they meet you? When the soldiers came, did they meet you?
They meet me. They meet me, but they told me to be in the room. And if it's anything, I cook in the room, eat in the room there, urinate in the room there. So it wasn't easy.
A death that shook the nation, with a battalion of soldiers and police storming the otherwise unknown town of Dentra Obuasi, always called New Obuasi. The accused persons are still on trial, and there are calls from some quarters from the military who will not go on record demanding the erection of a statue in remembrance of the slain soldier.
The statue being there, to me, is very, very good. So anytime, even their grandchildren should come out, they should deliver, and then come to the town, they will know that, yes, my old man has done this before.
Please leave us alone. We are afraid. Our children will even run when they see it. Fear has gripped us. The events linger on. Erecting a statue, that is pressure on us.
With the statue, you recall the body. When we see his body, fear will grip us. This is the spot where Major Mahama died.
He finally gave up his life somewhere around this point, exact location in the gutter here where he lost his life. There's been talk about the erection of a monument of the sort, but there's been a divided opinion on it as to whether the family will agree or not. It's 1 year that has not been decided yet, but members of the community, some say it is not necessary because the memory still lives on or still lingers on, and they think that the matter should die its natural death, in as much as it is in court now for judgment yet to be given. Komla Kluche, TV3 News, New Obuasi.
Meanwhile, one of the acquitted and discharged persons in the Major Maxwell Mahama murder trial, Efia Menu, narrates her ordeal after spending 3 months in police cells. She spoke with Komla Kluche.
At 30, Efia assists her mother, who operates a chop bar in the town.
I can't tell who did what. They said I look like the lady who lit the matches. The scars on my body tells how I was treated.
Efia Menu says she has spent her entire life in the town and narrates her ordeal on the fateful day. She was one of those arrested in connection with the murder of Major Maxwell Mahama and regrets that fateful day.
Last prayer.
They said if I don't tell the truth, they will kill me. The Lord's Prayer was my only hope. It was then they saw the mark on my arm and compared.
Emotionally drained, the moment of May 29 still stare her in the face.
Free cells no buy a chrome half on Omoje was saying.
The chrome ya from body man, yes, and Bangam, and Commodore Star. Omodomia Cassa.
I was hardly accepted by my community, who showed me love with tears flowing.
When everybody soon a besham, when everybody soon a besham, no, my word to me, Chromia for dear. The one maybe the assistant no on Yaka.
Kofi Bedu was caught up in a swoop by a combined team of army and police personnel on May 30, a day after Major Maxwell Mahama was killed. In hindsight, his memory of that fateful day still haunts him. Thank God I came back alive. I was not involved in the lynching. Back in Efia Menu's home, the family says the stigma and negative reportage of events on that fateful day in the town of New Obuasi unfortunately has affected them, but will not deter them from offering love to the suspects who they believe are innocent.
Your bedroom quantum, Namcacha driver in his Messia. President Chabwase, also President Chabwase means.
When I was returning, the bus driver refused to stop in the town for me over stigma. I persisted until he budged.
And I'm saying, I would to can you for you. You know, was on man out to carnival. Missy Messuo. To her number of no see me.
I'm not a day and this is your crown style. Would to cry a crop a baby crown a day, ye pamon. What for car? Nasa what to care ma and some I can.
The stigma is so high. If you are not patient, you always engage in a free-for-all fight.
There be a overcome our camp. Now, we're in the chino. And you had no for say to come, that's a year cry.
But as heart-wrenching as these stories of the acquitted and discharged suspects are, the community is not giving up on them.
These experiences, quite emotional as they are, for one thing, she's resolved that it will not deter her from doing what she's been doing. She has never been engaged in any form of brutality or crime, but she'll continue to serve people that she serves as a trader and will remain a trader for the rest of her life. Komla Kluche, TV3 News, New Obuasi.
You're still watching News 360, and still to come, rapper Samuel Owusu from Osekro, Kumasi walks away with the grand prize as Talented Kids winner season 9. And international front, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un set for talks with President Donald Trump. Well, it's still News 360. We'll be right back with some more news after this. Do stay.
Hello and good evening to you. Welcome to Missions tonight here on News 360. My name is Alfred Akansi, and remember, Mission supported by DFID and the European Union. Now, pupils of the Imbora DA Primary School in the Kwandai district of the Northern Region are compelled to bring firewood and water from home daily before school feeding caterers can prepare meals. The practice, coupled with inadequate furniture, is affecting the school's enrollment.
It is a bright Tuesday morning at the Imbora DA Basic School. Attendance is high, but there is no teacher. Few minutes later, some teachers arrive and lessons begin. The school, which serves Imbora and 4 other communities, is among several deprived educational facilities in the Kwandai district.
Some of the classes are put together in one apartment, and others they are sitting under sheds, even on the bare floor. So in the case of the upper primary, 4, 5, and 6, they are in a pavilion, sitting on the bare floor. Some have no furniture to sit on. So it has a serious implication on their learning.
Every class lacks furniture. Pupils sit on broken pieces of desk. Even here, it is first come, first served, leaving many sitting on the floor. Class 4, 5, and 6 pupils occupy a dusty pavilion constructed by the Parents-Teacher Association. Certain exercises are done on the floor. This affects sitting posture.
It has actually discouraged a lot of children from enrolling into the school, because as at now, if you go into the community, you see a lot of children sitting there. Most often, I do leave the school premises and go into the community to sack the children to come to school. They will come all right, but the following day, they decline. You follow up to ask why, and they tell you they came the previous day, they didn't get places to sit. And they cannot imagine sitting on the floor when their counterparts in the towns are sitting in well-built classrooms. So how can that be?
For the nursery pupils, their only option in writing is the floor. This has affected enrollment. Even those enrolled dropped out because school is not attractive.
Because mkwadano bebre frebabi a ewa kakra no. Ana ne omo kurumo ha no. Ebe muso ntiase nyamba o motirimu. Nti ya ban kwan ha no yes suku nkwada ne nyina omoba. Omo dwane fa kwa fese nkonja ni ho. Ana kwa so se nkonja ni ho.
Attendance in this school continue to dwindle simply because pupils cannot afford to be sitting on the bare floor, all in the name of seeking for education. And this has been a source of worry to teachers.
The Mbora DA Basic School is a beneficiary of the school feeding program, but pupils do not get food easily. Water is a prized commodity, and so pupils are compelled to bring water and firewood from home before meals can be prepared.
If it so happens that they don't bring firewood and cooking is not done, because they are used to it, sometimes it is difficult to get them to even sit down and learn. Because, like I said earlier on, they run into the community, the guys of going to eat and come back. And when they go back, it becomes difficult for most of them to return to the classrooms.
This has been the practice for the past 1 year. Is the Pandai District Education Directorate aware of this practice?
I'm not aware that people bring water and firewood for them to prepare food for them. Maybe I am here to be giving the feedback because this program has just started and maybe I have not yet been able to go around to actually inspect the school feeding programs or second supervisors giving me reports, so I have no idea about that.
The District Education Director assures of immediate measures to deal with the situation.
That should not be the practice because children are not supposed to bring firewood, because if you are the caterer, it behoves on you to bring firewood to prepare meals for the children. I myself will go there, find out from whom the caterer is, and then I'd talk to the caterer to change the attitude of asking school children to bring firewood and then fetching water for their meals to be prepared. If he doesn't change, then I will be compelled to report it to the district assembly so that together we take action.
The Mbora Junior High School is also challenged. Classes are controlled by the weather as students are accommodated under a thatched shelter.
South Africa's late president, Nelson Mandela, once said that education is the right tool to change the world. If indeed education is the right tool to change the Mbora community, then stakeholders must prioritize committing resources to address the plight of the Mbora school. Stanley Nibleu, TV3 News, Mbora.
Let's still stay in the northern region and still with Stanley. Expectant mothers at Aprusaya in the Nanumba South District of the northern region receive health care under poor conditions. Stanley Nibleu reports the only CHIPS zone has no structure to operate from.
This is the Aprusaya community inhabited by Konkombes and Nanumbes. A bright morning signifies hope for residents. Expectant mothers are at the community square receiving antenatal care. This is the meeting point because there is no structure. Aprusaya and 4 other communities have been demarcated as a CHIPS zone in the Lungin catchment area more than 3 years ago, but have no physical structure. In fact, healthcare givers lack logistics. For years, healthcare has been administered to patients under trees.
When we come to work, then it rains. The wind can even blow our papers and our registers away. And you see how we are carried here. Dust, and the women, they inhale, most of them inhale dust. And you know what dust can cause to them.
A resident who is saddened by the development was compelled to donate his bedroom and mats to be used by health personnel in examining pregnant women.
The brand me brano, me special bi obi asa brand bi. Se mo baba mama na se mi ma omo de no mo fefe enkwada no mpanyefo no nyina yare no.
I gave out my room because I don't want to see my people suffer. An improvement in healthcare delivery will help us.
Health personnel here are doing their best to save lives, especially that of pregnant women. But inadequate infrastructure coupled with logistics are affecting the way healthcare is administered to these people, especially where pregnant women have had to lie on the floor to receive care. This is worrying.
Health workers give off their best despite the challenges.
And they have to, because
we don't think we should stop the work. We have been coming here every day, every month to care for them. So we are also doing our best to help them.
Motors and tricycles are the only means in commuting to Lungi during referrals. The mission team was told there are only 2 tricycles in the community. Hence, one would have to trek about 14 kilometers if he misses any.
Most of our parents here are not having motorbikes and even motorking. And motorking is once in a week, unless market days, Lungi market days. So if they are coming like that, they will all gather and pick a motorking. Sometimes the motorking will come from Lungi to this place and pick them to Lungi for market. So after market, they will bring them. But assuming labor case sets in maybe in the evening or midnight, and it happens that there won't be any motor or motorking around, there is a challenge to them.
The community has donated a parcel of land for the construction of a chips facility, but the land has remained in the same state for several years. The Nanumba South District Assembly has no immediate plans to address the situation. The population of Aprusai community is dominated by children who are often used as laborers on farms. The chief of the community is married to 4 women and has 30 children. He indicated his willingness to add on to the already existing offsprings, giving this explanation.
God has given them children, they will have to give birth. And then there are some men who also get married and they don't get children, so they give birth to compensate for them.
He said he has divided the 30 children into 3 groups, depending on their age and maturity. He educates one group, uses them as laborers on his farm, while the remaining group serves as his shepherds. Family planning is the last thing on their minds.
Children are many in this community. This is because parents have refused to do family planning. They believe giving birth is a blessing from God, and so they use them on their farms.
The suffering of pregnant women and children may linger on if nothing is done to improve healthcare delivery in the area. Stanley Nibleu, TV3 News, Aprusaya, Nanumba South.
Oh, quite a worrying situation there. But that's it for Missions tonight here on News 360, supported by Star Ghana with funding from Danida, UK Aid and the European Union. Back to you, Solis.
Thank you very much, Alfred. And let's move over and do some more stories. And squatters at Kaukudi Brigade in Accra are pleading with government for an extension of the 1-month ultimatum given them to vacate their current location. Government intends to prepare the place for the relocation of the Accra Arts Center to make way for the Marine Drive project.
Right next to the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park is arguably the tourist hub of Ghana. The Center for National Culture, popularly referred to as the Art Center. It has got everything from woven kente cloth, sculptures to fashion accessories. In fact, it has art and craft from all over Ghana. From their old location close to the Accra High Court, the Art Center has been at its current location for close to 40 years and has attracted a lot of high-profile personalities, including presidents from other nations.
Former American President George Bush and Bill Clinton, as well as the King of Morocco, His Majesty King Mohammed, who spent $10,000, have all been here.
Spending over $10,000 at our art center.
Each of the over 1,000 shop owners here pay an annual rent of 204 cedis to government. We could go on and on and on with the creativity and beauty that exists here at the Accra Art Center. But in some few months to come, patrons may no longer be able to locate the art center at this particular location, as there are plans by government to relocate the art center to Kaukudi. The relocation is to make way for government Marine Drive project along the beach. Work on the project has gotten very close to the art center, putting pressure on the traders.
Any consultant in this year, you know, you move free ha Kaukudi.
In a meeting with the consultant, we expressed our fear, but he assured us that they will not move us till Kaukudi is ready for relocation.
This slum community, Kaukudi Brigade, is expected to be the new location for the art center. Residents here admit being engaged on few occasions by government to vacate the area for the relocation of the art center, but are asking for more days.
Yanum sasa senenya ye de tu de wo se ye tu ana mpuntu so ne ye pe ntina wo so munya mrema ye no munya abotre so maye
obi a hwehwe bibia wo beko ba ye nya ye.
Most of us are seriously searching for a new place, but we haven't gotten any yet.
Residents here were first informed about the relocation 2 years ago, but did not attach much prominence to the notice. We took the warning serious, but they did not show up again. So we were thinking that this time they give us about 6 months' notice to move. We observed the deadline by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly for residents here to relocate had expired. The squatters, some of whom have stayed close to 10 years, have up to the end of this month to relocate. The traders at Art Center fear not all of them would be accommodated here due to the small land size.
We made this land what it is today. We are not against the Marine Drive project, but government should ensure that we all get shops in the Marine Drive.
The Marine Drive project has space for an art center, but until then, traders would have to make do with a temporary one here. Kwabna Edu JV, TV3, Accra.
To say with the environment, the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, has cautioned against the consumption of fruits and vegetables immediately after purchasing from the market. The Director of Chemicals and Registrar of Pesticides of the Environmental Protection Agency, who gave the warning at an outreach program in Accra, said some fruit and vegetables contain traces of poisonous substances after the application of chemicals by farmers.
According to Dr. Sam Edukumi, investigations conducted by the EPA show that many farmers and food vendors are violating the safety standards for production and packaging. This means that Ghanaians are consuming large amounts of fruit and vegetables which contain poisonous chemicals and substances. He stressed the need for farmers to comply with a 10-day rule, which is the waiting period after spraying pesticides and growth-enhancing chemicals to produce before sending it to the market.
For every produce where chemical have been applied, we call something a pre-harvest interval. That means that you have to observe at least 10 days after you have sprayed before you harvest. Okay. For that time period is enough to break the residual amounts of chemicals on the crop or on the fruit. Okay. But most times it may not be observed because of the nature of marketing. So if in the first place, if the market, those who are going to buy, they know that they should ask questions, have you really observed this interval of 10 days? It will be helpful.
Dr. Edukumi advised against consuming fruits and vegetables immediately after purchasing from the market.
Make sure you wash your food or fruits copiously with water. At least it will take away a lot of the residues on the surface. If for vegetables like tomatoes and also even cabbage, before you eat or you cook, remove the outer cover. That means it will bring the residues, if there are, to a barest minimum. And then the cabbages, once you remove the outer cover, it means that the inner one may contain some few amount of chemical. I'm not saying it will be free unless you don't use chemical at all. But then these are simple measures that one can ensure to at least make sure that you are eating well.
The event was the biennial district meeting of officers of the Grand Ladies Auxiliary Night of St. John. First Vice President of the Accra East Grand Ladies Auxiliary, Felicia Klu, noted the group will continue to organize similar outreach programs.
Every now and then we find those who do vegetable farming employing things that will make their products look good and realize bumper harvest. As a group, we will go out there to influence our communities in which we live, the church community.
This year's meeting was under the theme Imbibing Respect from the Church, Community and the Environment, the Role of the Lady Knight.
All right, and we're still watching News 360. We'll be right back with some sports news with Thierry Nyan. Do stay.
For some entertainment news. The search for the one who continues the reign of the most talented kid in Ghana ended today, and the determinant of who is supposed to take over from DJ Switch last year was decided. Rapper Samuel Owusu from Kumasi has won Talented Kids Season 9, and it was a keen contest between the finalists who made it today at the National Theatre. Lots of people turned up to watch it. Samuel Owusu came up first, followed by Peniel Dodu, who came second, and Hakim Issa, who is also a rapper, came through third, and Luther King Band came through finally. And what happens is that bassist Peniel Dodu and also rapper Hakim, and eventually this band coming in to also take that particular fourth position. And that keenly contested program, amazing as a mission of
It was
talent.
amazing. Yeah, we'll be bringing you the highlights of exactly what happened. But let's take a look at how our in-house cartoonist Tilapia wrapped up the events of the week.
I saw someone in someone else's pocket there. Let's see what that happens. But let's go on to Talented Kids this evening. 12-year-old rappers who stayed there early on, students of Kids Paradise School. Samuel Owusu, aka Young King Clef, is a winner of Talented Kids Season 9. The versatile rapper rose above competition from bassist Peniel Dodu, rapper Hakim, and a shaman-based band Luther King Band.
Thank the Almighty Lord for giving me this opportunity to express myself in the whole of Ghana. I thank the Almighty Lord, and I dedicate this winning to my sister, Newsrat Ntiwa. Rest in perfect peace.
At that point, before the judges declared a verdict, it was between yourself and Peniel. And what was going through your mind at that crucial moment?
I was a bit nervous though, but with God, all things are possible. So God did the whole thing for me.
And also, we saw you on stage with Sarkodie. He is a celebrated rapper, and a lot of people look up to him. You also look up to Sarkodie. So how was it performing with the rap king, King Sark?
It was very enthusiastic. It was very grateful, yeah. To perform with a big superstar like that, I think it's not an easy job.
Right. And the package at stake, 10,000 cedi, you have educational trip, you also have an investment fund to support your education. And when you think about this whole package, the money, the fact that you'll be traveling outside and you're having a whole investment to support it, what does that make you feel?
It makes me feel great. Great, very, very, very great.
Lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, and of course, to those who didn't make it to the final four, of course, they're still winners. All of them are winners. They did amazingly well. Congratulations to all of them.
I think the whole bit of this is when the mentors joined them on stage to perform with them.
Yeah.
It was good seeing Sarkodie perform with this little boy who sees him as his mentor. We don't have many talent-based schools in this country. So talented kids is something you should support if you're out there, maybe sometime next year. But I want to say thank you so much for spending your 60 minutes with us here on News 360. My name is Alfred Okansi.
And I'm Solace Rose Quarting. Have a good evening.